Hey guys, welcome back to Game Marriage, and the first time I'm playing a classic Mega Man on the channel. Sorry guys, I haven't heard from you for a while. I've been fighting with a bit of moping and stuff, and I know that's no excuse. I believe in at least one of my previous videos I said I would stop running that excuse, but also in that same previous video I kinda mentioned how my go-to for when I'm feeling depressed is a horror game, because then I can counteract feeling sad with being scared. Yeah. I just don't have any horror games I feel like playing right now because they're all either way too hard and would have me constantly struggling just to make little bits of progress, or they're horror games that kinda have no heart to them anymore, where they're using horror themes but not necessarily being scary. They're just like gore games or ghost games, and sometimes the silly ghost games can be cute and fun, but no. So right now we're gonna play some Mega Man, and for those who don't know, these games were made back in a time where when the game cartridges were very small, didn't have much. Well, the cartridges themselves were physically kind of big, but the storage space on them was really small. So they couldn't make the games long, like 30-hour gaming epics like you see every game trying to be nowadays. Instead, I'm gonna hide my camera preview because I can't see that top corner of the screen. I know you guys aren't gonna either, but there's a lot of climbing that's gonna take place in that corner, and especially on this level and in the Left-Man's level. But so yeah, back then there wasn't enough storage space on the game cartridge for them to be able to make really long games, and they still had to keep the players in the game for however many, like 30+ hours that people expect when they pay $60 for a game. Because game prices technically have actually gone down in recent years, because of the fact that they've stayed pretty steady at like $60 for a AAA title, but with inflation that $60 means less money. Yeah. In any case, in response to the need to keep players hooked so they feel like they got their money's worth, developers either made games that reuse a lot of assets, which you'd see with the original Final Fantasy, where you see a lot of the same enemies just recolored, or they made the games painfully hard so people could just beat them in the like half hour to an hour that the game's content actually involves. Which I'm going to be using save states to kind of pull that illusion away here with Mega Man, but you're still going to see me die. See, this game has maybe 1 to 3 hours of... that 3 is a very hopeful estimate. It's got probably 1.5 hours worth of actual content to it, but the fact that you die is a primary mechanic of that. I might need a better NES emulator. Ouch! And yeah, so you might notice me skipping all those little just spheres, unless they're immediately in my path. Those just increase your score, which I don't even know why there's a scoring system in a single-player game like a Mega Man. That is, as much as I might praise Capcom for some of their design choices, that is an odd choice for a single-player game. But with that said, I can get to the whole praising of Capcom thing that I said I was going to do. One thing that's neat about Capcom's level design in these early games is how the games kind of teach you how to play without any kind of tutorial. You just dive right in, and the natural design of the level kind of tells you to just go ahead and play with the controls. Well, okay, it doesn't tell you to play with the controls, the level design, but the natural instinct as a gamer would be, well, let's see what this button does. Let's see what this button does. That kind of removed the need for having an older sibling or cousin tell you how to play or reading a rule book. Death number 1. Now that I'm at full health at this guy, though, I'm going to put a save state right at the start of the fight so that you guys don't just have to. So you guys don't have to watch me get through the whole easy level over and over again just to get to the boss. And so I don't have to go through the easy level over and over again just to get to the boss. Jeez, I might actually be able to beat this guy without getting touched. Well, if I hadn't been overzealous trying for another shot, I could have. But, well, now I forgot what I was talking about. Oh, I was talking about level design. It's more apparent in later Mega Man games, but like in Mega Man 3, when you first meet an enemy called a Hammer Joe, in every point where you meet one, the level is designed so you actually cannot get to them before they throw their hammer for the first time. But in this case, you see enemies on the screen. They'll jump at you, they'll hit you. But they don't appear until after you move the screen forward to their spawn point. Like, oh my, that's like a common sense thing about everyday gaming now. But back in the... There's a channel called Eagle Record that did a very good job about this, talking about Mega Man X. But his language is not very kid-friendly, so I'm trying my best to go over pretty much everything he already said. But first off, there's just the natural point of when you start playing a game, you're going to start experimenting with what the buttons do. If you don't have that older brother, sister, cousin to tell you how to do things. Or if you just don't want to talk to them. And so, first thing you'd figure out would be the movement keys that help you move around. And when you run into a bad guy, you're like, oh, maybe I should touch that. Is there a button that maybe has a weapon on it for me to shoot the bad guy? Yeah, there is. Oh dear. Forgot about those part. This level's mostly easy except for this part. Ow. And Blue. And yeah. I'm not the best at these games. Hence why I already told you I'm going to be using save states to make sure I can get through them without boring you too much. It's just such a novelty to seeing this game I haven't played in forever. I was not top of the ladder yet, was I? Oh! My bad. Totally my bad. I gotta start from this room again. I don't like this room. It's easy, but I don't... Oh, I only one room back. Still don't like that room. Ow. Oh, that was not a jumping spot. That's not a jump. There we go. Safe. 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 Speaking of safe. Come on, jump some more, Sniper Joe. I can some help. Thank you, Sniper Joe. It's a dead end. Run, 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 run. But yeah, most of the obstacles in a Mega Man game or a Mega Man X game are designed in such a way that you can't fail until you've already seen what they do. Sniper Joes are an exception. They're just annoying and need to die. Yeah, Sniper Joes are an exception. They're just annoying and need to die. Boss fight! Oh. There's a painful hallway to the boss fight. Let's see if I can navigate down the painful hallway without taking a bunch of damage so that I can stand a fair chance with the boss. If I'm not dumb. If I am not dumb, this will work. I am not dumb! In theory, I don't have to kill all of them, just the ones that don't have this much space between them. No! There, now I should be ready for the boss. Yeah. Bomb man! Oh, hey, don't jump on my head. You have so many places in the room you can jump up. My head should not be one of them. Ow, my butt. Let's try this again. This time without getting jumped on right away, so I have that little bit of health to survive the next bomb. Or maybe with doing a better job of avoiding the bombs would probably have been better of me, but we still got it. Put our save state here so I don't accidentally load up and end up having to fight Bomb Man again. Not that he was that hard of a boss, but yeah. Now, some of you might have actually been wondering what I mean by games that don't really have any heart to them. And that's when you can, that's basically just like when you can tell a game is a blatant cash grab, or a blatant attention grab in the case of games that are free but don't really have any heart to them. This is like the least favorite part of the game. That's a lie. There are a lot of bad parts in this game. This game is actually a pretty good game. Give it a chance. Or it was at its time. It's tight controls and nice handling and punishing, but generally fair difficulty level. It's actually pretty nice because unlike most Nintendo hard games, this one only punishes you when you make a mistake. I can show you a good example of one that is just totally unfair and people only beat it by way of a lot of memorization and a lot of luck. That would be Ninja Gaiden. The only way I can beat that one is with save states. This one I'm just using save states to make it faster. Why do I miss that jump? But back on the whole game and heart thing, there are a lot of ways you can tell whether a game was made for the passion of developing a game, for wanting to tell a story or share an experience, or for just the money. One is if the game just reuses a model taken straight from another game, it was probably just made for the money or to appease fans who are demanding a sequel. When a game introduces new components, say a game is a sequel, but it introduces new components to the game, new mechanics and different things. Like, say, transitioning from Mega Man, using the Mega Man franchise as a list here, transitioning from Mega Man 3 to 4, they added in the ability to charge up your arm cannon. That wasn't much, but it proved they were trying to innovate, implement more, and still dedicated to making it a somewhat new experience, even if the newness was just one little thing. Now, if we instead go for, like, the FIFA games and the WWE wrestling games that have been coming out in the last few years, where they make a new game that is just about the same old game with a new roster or reskin something or other. Saving it for that. Yeah, I know, doing it more and more would actually get me better at doing that section of the game. And back when I was a kid, these save states weren't an option, so I actually had to get good. But I'm not going to waste all your time watching me get good if there's actually anyone watching this video. Ow. Of me just being a dork with a nostalgic, on a nostalgia kick. I believe there's actually a reward for going down this hole and proving that you can actually navigate a very simple jump puzzle. Health! Ah! And spikes! Whoa! This is bigger health right there that I don't know if I can get. I was not in a position. There's the reward! I didn't think to keep it up for an extra spot. Ah! Trying to make it over your head, big fat plunger man. I honestly forgot what these enemies are called, but each enemy in this game does have a name, even the measly little those helmet guys. They're called Metards. But yeah, I have just about no patience for shooters and fighting games because they do that very thing that I mentioned, where they just recycle the same formula. And this save state's probably not going to serve me very well because, you know, I can survive getting hit once. I don't even know if I'll survive getting hit once. Ow. Okay, yeah. I survived getting hit once, and then got stunned in his face. I could probably kill him with only getting hit once. Now, killing brings up another good point as to how you can tell if a game actually has heart or if it's just a blatant cash grab. Singular mechanic games, like, let's say Mega Man right here, even. All you can do is fight the enemies. You can't try to reason with them or anything like that. But in the case of Mega Man right here, that was a symptom of the times. Ah! Gotta jump when he lands, so I have control of my character when he lands. Ah, Gutsman. But yeah, if you make a game where there's only one thing to do, like, let's say most shooters, not gonna pick on any particular one right now, most shooters, it's basically find gun, shoot guy. Guy might be zombie, guy might be another human player, but find gun, shoot guy. In this game, yeah, it's all you can do is walk through level and shoot bad guys. But there's some reasoning behind it. At the time, there was so little space on the cartridge and so little limitation, such tight limitations on the software that the games run on, yeah, the original NES was kind of garbage, but they took that garbage and used it to make these experiences that that those of us who played it really enjoyed. How can I get that health? I forget. Oh, that's right. That's if you revisit the level, you get that health by using an item you find in it. But nowadays, there's just no excuse. No excuse at all for cheap single mechanic game design. Except to provide a simple game for people who are either too young to read and understand complicated mechanics, or who are just tired of actually thinking. Ow. My head. And here we get into, as much as it might frustrate some people, one of the key reasons why, even with such simple mechanics, this game is fantastic. With only controls for walk, jump, shoot, as simple as those controls are, well, okay, and change weapon, but still, walk, jump, shoot, pick a weapon. They added mechanics in the levels themselves to make a fairly complicated and still quite fun game out of just jumping, shooting, walking. They did good. Capcom's always done pretty good. If there are a few things I could criticize them on, one would be just how intensely hard this game is for a new player. I emphasize for a new player, because even if I'm rusty, I've had hours of practicing and have beaten this game legitly at least once. I don't have an actual count for how many times I beat the game, because, you know, back when I was a kid, I didn't keep count, and I didn't have something like Steam keeping count for me. But for a new player who's got to learn how to dodge all these things and where what is, and there's that item I was telling you about. It's a new tool. Power arm. Gotta dig a tunnel, dig a tunnel. I believe that's called the magnet gun, even though it has nothing to do with it. Doesn't look like it has anything to do with magnets. It just shoots. It's a gun that shoots platforms. And yeah. More innovation. Most of your weapons are just weapons, but that one's a tool. And that power arm is a tool that could let me clear that path. And these stupid traps. Hey! I waited, I thought. Or I waited too long and didn't react to the fact that the beam came back. Run away, run away, run away! These vertical segments are tiring, or they would be if I were actually physically climbing myself. Can you imagine climbing all this? Seriously? Heck with skipping leg day, this is just... Oh, you really gonna do that? Fine. I'll take the hit, or hopefully kill you. Ow. Take the hit. Be nearly dead. Those guys are just bullet sponges. Basically, you have to take the hit to get by them. And what a hit it is. That was, what, half of my health bar right there? There's a thing I think Capcom deserves some criticism for. Those enemies that are essentially unavoidable being such heavy hits to take. I don't like this ladder, but I know I'm gonna have to climb it again because one hit is not enough for Elect Man. I'd like you guys to meet Elect Man. He's weak to just Choppy Blade if I didn't get shot by him first and die. Another thing, though, that I wouldn't mind criticizing Capcom for, though this has nothing to do with the Mega Man franchise, but rather the latest game in their Monster Hunter franchise, Monster Hunter World. Making before I say this, I want to say that Monster Hunter World is a very well-designed game with most of the challenges in it feeling very appropriate. I would like to emphasize that most there. I only got hit with one more blade, sir. There you go. But then came the Final Fantasy event, which people could defend this by pointing out it's an event. It's a event about a MMO, about a massive multiplayer online game. Because it was a collab event with Final Fantasy XIV. Okay, where they introduce the Behemoth from Final Fantasy XIV. In this event, first you fight a giant Kulu-Yaku, which people who've already played Monster Hunter will know. People who've already watched other people play Monster Hunter will know, but eventually I might play Monster Hunter and heck, for the channel, even though I am really late to the party on that one. And heck, I might even let fans and friends design my character and my cat. But you fight a giant Kulu-Yaku first, and then after that, and some cutscenes later, you fight you actually fight the Behemoth itself. This encounter was designed for 16 people. I don't know about most of you out there, but I have a hard time counting up 5 actual friends that are available to play with, let alone 16 at the same time that are available to play with. And there have been people defending it, pointing out the Behemoth is possible solo, but only by the truly elitist, best players in the game kind of people who not only are exceptionally skilled at Monster Hunter, but also using their exceptional skill have already gotten massively augmented gear, which augmenting is something I only just unlocked on my main hunter so at the moment. Where's my jumps here? Check the pattern. Oh, wait. You can follow the whole pattern, or if you actually watch the whole pattern and you're quick enough, which I apparently am not. You can actually skip most of the thing by jumping up like I was trying to. Fine, I'll follow the pattern like a normal human. But first I need to get rid of that thing, because otherwise it's gonna make my nightmare. Did that wrong. Oh. I cannot skip steps, huh? What? Splashy flashy. But yeah, I personally feel attacked by a game that I bought with the intention that I got with the intention to use the challenging bits as personal challenges, and then they introduce a challenge that is actually designed for a large group of people. Or at least what I define as a large group, because it's larger than my group of friends. Oh, did that make sense to any of you? That didn't make sense to me. No. I hate those guys so badly. But this one is really hard to kill because you're stuck on the same ground as him. Okay. Now, if I don't screw up, I screwed up. I don't have to worry about that guy being a total jerk. Come up there. When the bosses aren't even the hard part of the game. It's the jump puzzles. But yeah, I personally think Capcom deserves a little bit of flack for that, and maybe some flack for turning the Resident Evil franchise into a generic zombie shooter plus quick-time events. I mean, whoever in the history of their gaming career has actually liked quick-time events? They test your reaction speed. Yeah, that's about it, your reaction speed. There's no way to practice for them or get better at them. I didn't want to be down here with this guy! He's the kind of crazy person that puts pineapple on pizza! Okay, there we go. I'm actually not too put off by those jump puzzles. I'm more put off by, you know, them inserting QuickTime events everywhere into any Resident Evil past the third installment, as if they think QuickTime events are the most genius thing to happen to gaming. But I guess in that way I'm kind of a gaming snob. Because as far as I care, what makes a good game mechanic is that it's something that tests your skill at the game. Something you can practice and get better at, but still something that adds difficulty. Instead of, you know, just being there to waste time. Yeah, I'm going to be liberally using save states to get through this because, well, I have the persistence and free time to spend an entire afternoon on this game repeating the parts I can do to get to these parts that are frustrating. I'm not going to waste all that time recording the same parts of the game over and over again. You guys can just keep like a kill count like I suggested for my Metroid Fusion Let's Play. Oh, I need to get back to my 1% Metroid Fusion Let's Play, don't I? Don't I? Bad timing. Bad timing, bad placement, bad butterfingers. Oop. Can I just get over here? Yay! What was that, 4 tries? I don't know how you're supposed to get that. You can't stop your momentum once you fall like that. There are some things I never figured out. With all my time playing and practicing Mega Man games. You just dropped points. I don't need no stinking points. Die. Hey, you give me health to make it so I have a better chance of... That is the opposite of giving me health. Ice floor. That's another game mechanic that I'm surprised so many game companies still keep using. Because, yeah, it adds realism, it adds difficulty, but at the cost of controls. It doesn't actually... Oh. Yeah, to avoid dodging a whole bunch of those ice missiles, I'm going to show you an exploit for a game that's 30 years, 30 or 30 plus, or nearly 30 years old. See, this game has two pause buttons. The start button and select button, which I know modern controllers don't have a select button and a start button. They have an options button and a back button or a share button or whatnot. But the start button is the pause button that brings up your list of weapons and lets you change your weapon. The select button just pauses the game and unpauses it. And whether intentionally left in by the developers or an accident, if you pause using the select button and then unpause, the enemy's invulnerability frames get shut off and they take damage again. So there, a little bit of game programming info for you too, guys. That there's a lot more to the game's design than just how the people move and how they take damage. And that might be a fun thing to go over sometime if I ever get more educated about it myself. All I can say is that part was not cheating. That is an intended mechanic of the game, with freezing that fire pillar and using it as a stepping stone. Oh, I froze them too tall! Okay, I need to freeze that one. What is that? 3 spaces. Or 2. Oh, they just fell back out. It's better. Ow! My butt! My poor butt! They're roasting my butt! Okay. Let's put this away, because I like my little lemon. And if I don't need it, I'm not using it. It's kind of my mentality with Monster Hunter and other games. Ow! Excuse me, Mr. Fire Pillar. What do? Ah! Ow! I'm just not doing good in this level. In my defense, this level has a lot of very random obstacles to it. I don't know if there's actually a time that will get you through here, but another way through here is to use our magnet beam to just make a little platform and climb up. Hey, whoa, whoa, excuse me, sir. Whoop, whoop. Ow. Spawn forever. I mentioned I very much dislike those little moving platform guys. Ooh! Thank you, Fireball! I can do it! There we go. I'm getting my old skills back. And now we have a mostly full health bar and about half of our ice beam energy. Yeah. Although Elect Man's weapon is like the best weapon for anything in this game. All because of that exploit and how the attack is so big. That was nice. I won invisible! I probably shouldn't use that exploit too much because that actually is cheating. Even if the developers leave a cheat code in the game, it's still cheating to use it. And that, well, you already saw on screen, is Dr. Wily. Oh, why these guys? There's only another one over here, I think, if I'm remembering this level right. Ow! There goes like all of my health! Because nearly invincible. Okay, so I am going to have to kill them without them hitting me. But how is the question? Because, as you may have noticed, they are the spongiest of bullet sponges. They're also extremely slow, so maybe Bomb Man's weapon is the answer. They're not slow enough to hit with Bomb Man. Okay, so I'm just gonna have to wait for them to do a high jump, hope I'm in the right spot for the high jump, like I was just there, and repeat. You just did your high jump. Excuse me, sir. And this is why I hate RNG. You can know how to do something, but it just won't give you an opportunity to do it at the right moment when you are supposed to, in order to get through, in order to succeed at life. Don't. You gave me an opening, like you're supposed to. See, now if they had a pattern jump to them, then you could count on how they're supposed to move instead of just getting lucky like that. Yeah, I don't always all my guts energy. And the Elect Man's weapon saves you so much energy when you use their purpose. Okay. Figure out what we're doing. What we're doing is not going for that thing up there. What we're doing is not trying to jump across there as a trap. Whoop up! Whoop up! Okay, gotta reach the top of the ladder before those guys reach you. And you see, this is a perfect example of why one would use save states. Because now we're at the point where they are using cheap, out of nowhere kill methods where you'd basically have to replay the level up to that point if this were your first time and you weren't entirely sure what you were doing. Those cheap insta-kills to force you to replay through stuff is something that's caused so many arguments between me and my big brother Seth, because he thinks, or at least when it comes to bosses in big MMOs like World of Warcraft, that such things give you a better sense of the danger the boss or a situation is supposed to represent, which I can see his point there. Honestly, I really can. Oh dear. The Mudman. Technically this boss's name is the Yellow Devil, but if you watch how he moves, it's like it's just mud coming together, and I took far too many hits to have a chance at that run. I'm sorry, I'm not going to use my save state so liberally. I'll just load up when I die again. And you see how all rounded off he is. There's nothing devil-like about his appearance. I'll just use the save state to get back into here after I've died, since you notice there was no gate to this boss. And he's a boss that I am liberally going to use that cheaty shot with. Because as you notice, he does the same thing every time, just moves back and forth using that forgive the use of the word bullet hell, where I'm not good at dodging that bullet hell. I don't think I've ever beaten the Yellow Devil legitly, and if that's what someone wants to see me try to do, I don't think I've ever seen anyone beat the Yellow Devil without use of that exploit for removing his invulnerability frames, or resetting them anyhow. I knew it was a trap. Oh, and this right here is an example of why I got good enough at some bosses like Cutman and whatnot to be able to have beaten him without getting hit at all. Because now we're at the part of the game where you get rematches with the bosses you previously fought. And only a very minor bit of healing between rounds. But as difficult as this part of the game makes the rest of the game, it's actually one of the better mechanics, in my opinion. Ouch. There goes all my health on Elect Man. I think I'm gonna need to try again on him. Oh, I'm back to Cutman. Okay, Fire's not his weakness. What was his weakness again? I think it was Bomb Man's weapon, but good luck getting to sit still long enough to hit him, to get an actual hit in on him with Bomb Man's weapon. So I'm gonna go back to just the lemons. The lemons have served me well. Okay. Cutman rematch down. Can use Elect Man's weapon to get some. Okay! I'll take a big health boost. And as long as I don't screw up, I won't lose the big health boost, so. Let's refill some Elect Man energy. We're going to be using that a lot. But down the next hole, we fight an Elect Man. So we need Cutman weapon. Cutting some wires. That went a lot better than I expected. I definitely do moving my save state here. Badoo, badoo. And see, no healing in this one. Ouch. Only more damage. Because I'm not as good at games as I like to think I am. So, what are we doing now? Oh! They're trying to tempt me with a life that I'd have to waste some weapon energy to get. I think we both know the answer, but we all know the answer to that one. Nope. Oh, I remember you. Oh. If I hadn't, you know, done everything wrong, I'm not gonna. That mistake was genuinely a mistake I needed to live with. Such an obstacle course floor here. Oh, wait, what? Oh, this boss. It's this boss. Yes, I forgot how you fight this boss. Okay, it only takes one hit worth of damage from that, so that's another weak weapon. Okay, what? Still just one hit worth of damage. Okay, so one hit. No damage, huh? So you just gotta be better at Mega Manning than Mega Man. I think the fire is like the best weapon for this, if I remember correctly. There we go. I got him! Whoa, wait. I see you in your sneaky tricks. Granted, I don't know how to avoid all your sneaky tricks, but I see you in your sneaky tricks. That's one thing I didn't really... I just noticed something that I didn't catch before, but that I think the developer might deserve some congratulations about. They designed they set up how the enemies take damage in such a way that if you are using an auto-fire controller, or in this case just happen to have buttons set for an auto-fire option, then even monsters that don't have a visible invulnerability frame won't take damage. If the hits are too close together. Okay. I did that completely wrong. Oh wait, I already fell back on my whole thing where I said I wasn't going to so frivolously use my save states. I'm sorry, anybody who was counting on me to not screw up my own. Okay, so there I died. That one is saving you some trouble. Maybe if I could make it here without losing any health, I'd stand a better chance, but Yeah, the minute I thought I had a good spot. For those who don't already know, anyone yelling me in the comments, yes, I realize Gutsman's weapon is this thing's weakness, but I only got 4 blocks. And I believe it won't cover his entire health bar. No, we'll go in there trying Gutsman's weapon right off the bat. Whether it be to appease naysayers or... Yeah. Using Gutsman's weapon right off the bat will get you this far where it's super fast and near impossible to win with just your pew-pews. I say just before I win with just a pew-pew and barely a scrap of health remaining. Okay, I apologize to all you theoretical people who would have been yelling in the comments about using Gutsman's weapon. I also apologize to any theoretical people in the comments who know, who remember this game better than I do and know a reason why I should not have used Gutsman's weapon that I forgot about. Oh wait, I didn't use up all my Gutsman energy. That's right, I didn't use all my Gutsman energy, I just used up all my rocks. But hey, that's not nice. And yeah, I don't know if there's a particular reason why the developers seem to favor Gutsman so much. And I'm not saying that because his weapon is so overpowered that it mostly killed a boss in 4 hits. I'm saying that because, well, you notice all the Gutsman iconography up in there. And one thing that you'll notice if I continue playing through the Mega Mans to do Mega Man number 2 is that he comes back in the form of a tank in number 2. Where's my... Okay, gotta spawn the platform in. Platform. Or maybe it's just way, way, way away. Okay. Hadouken. Hadouken. How do I make that jump? Now I'm screwing up the easy one. Okay, so you can make that jump, you just have to be at the right place at the right time. And there's less than a millisecond of room for error. Okay. The teleporty rematch rooms. I need health to last for the other bosses. Okay. I don't think I have health to last through the rest of the bosses. Because, I mean, well, Iceman's an easy one. Using that exploit to keep damaging it instead of having to dodge everything. This one's gonna be hard though. Because it's a Guts Man. He takes my ability to move away from me. If I don't time my jumps well enough. Awesome! Is there a healing up here for me? There's a weapon energy up here for me. Well, I still got a life. Oh dear. It's Wily! He's at the end of the game! I stand no chance with this life, though. So let's just go ahead and suicide. And now have the battle Wily deserves out of us. Okay? Okay. I know it was a cop-out. I should have actually made a solid effort instead of just giving up that round. Ow. But you're going to see plenty of solid efforts from this last ditch to get this done. That was only taking one sliver of health off a shot, wasn't it? Wasn't it? I might want to switch to my elect beam. It's been so long since I've beaten this game, legitly or otherwise. Now, if I switch to the elect beam and use our little exploit we saw earlier. Then we can eat away his health. And I believe he still has one more form. Or I'm thinking of another Mega Man game. Okay, so in theory, if you didn't need save states like I just used, and you just did everything right, you'd need to be like the perfect player of this game and have the best luck in the world. But if you were that good, oh yeah, his original name was Rockman before the English translation, and this ROM that I'm using is of the raw translation that uses the original names, because you know all the characters in this franchise before the X part of the franchise were named with musical references. Rock, roll, well, the main characters anyway. Rock, his sister Roll are Rock and Roll, and then his brother Proto Man was originally called Blues, and later we'll meet some characters called Bass and Treble who, for some reason, had their names changed even though both the original and the new names are musical references, because their American names are Bass and Treble, their Japanese names are Forte and Gospel. For anyone wondering the story of this franchise, it's a story that gets repeated in every generation. But the first game really felt like it had heart when you look at the fact that it was not just Mario running, jumping on people's heads or anything. It was designed with a story in mind. Mario's story makes little to no sense because of how frequently the princess gets captured by the same person. There we go, Dr. Light. I don't know if Light and Wily are somehow musical references, but I get distracted too much. The story here was Dr. Light and Dr. Wily were partners making robots. Oh, there's another level. It's just going to put me into the same Dr. Wily level over again. I think. Let's see if there's no bonus level. It's just the same levels over again. So yeah, you saw the ending there, and I'll just leave it here, or die and let me go back to the starting screen, the title screen. But they were partners and both brilliant robotic scientists, and but once they realized they could make these robots that were far superior to humans in all kinds of different ways, they had different ideas on how to use them. See, Dr. Light wanted to kind of make them citizens, give them jobs. Cutman helping the timber industry, Gutsman helping with construction. And whatnot. And Mega Man, or Rock, in my opinion, the names would have been fine if his name was Rock, but his superhero name was Mega Man. But Rockman was just Dr. Light's lab assistant. And, well, Wily went and stole these 6 robots. It's 8 in every other game. But stole these 6 robots and reprogrammed them for evil! Because he thought, we can make these super robots. Why don't we use them to take over the world? And now I realize the flaw in waiting until I've beaten the game to give you a plot synopsis. Because that's the amount of the plot that you're told in the instruction booklet to the game. Because you notice none of the plot was actually said in the gameplay, because this is just a side-scroller. But that's the plot that's told you in the instruction booklet of the game before you even start playing. But I should probably end this recording before I ramble on too long. I am glad to be back recording. It's really about the best release I get from, you know, work and then babysitting, and as much as I love these nephews, more babysitting, and that all being said, I hope you guys enjoyed watching this, and I am going to try to maintain the morale to start recording more and have more fun with things. And I'll see you again next video. Bye, everybody!